Well, hello, you fabulous interior design professional. Welcome to Business of Design. Can you believe it? Episode 412. We are racking them up here. And I'm in Los Angeles at the moment. And I woke up to pretty blue skies this morning, which is no small thing because from January to June, this is where I live. And last week, we were hanging out, business as usual, just about, in fact, to head out to the grocery store when we looked out the window and we saw what looked like these very small wisps of smoke beside us in the hills. And by now, you know, and the world knows that the city of Pacific Palisades was on fire. When we began to see flames, I immediately phoned a friend of mine who lives in Malibu. And I'm like, hey, are you seeing this? And she's like, I just looked out my window. I can see flames. What should I do? I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening, right? Like, it's just so fast, no warning. Well, grab Summer, get in the car, and come to me. So Summer's her big old German Shepherd dog, older dog. Things, of course, got really crazy after that. And for millions of people, it's gone from bad to worse, no question about it. And like I said off the top, we woke up this morning to blue skies, but we had a couple of our own pretty scary moments. We evacuated from our place in Santa Monica and we moved temporarily into our daughter's house, and she lives at the foot of the Hollywood Hills. And got ourselves all settled in, and we were just in this like weird limbo land of checking this fire app we have and watching a bit of news. And then all of a sudden, it was around 6 o'clock at night. It just gotten dark. All of our phones just blew up. We got the dreaded Amber Alert. Evacuate immediately is what that meant. Someone had set a fire in Runyon Canyon, which is right beside the Hollywood Hills, and it's not good. We're talking about a neighborhood that is largely older homes, all wood, tons of vegetation. I mean, it was just like, it was terrifying. So thankfully, my daughter already had her go bag packed. We were able to leave really quickly. She's got two cute little doggies. Maybe Cheryl will put up a photo for those of you watching on YouTube, my grands. And we grabbed the dogs and a few other things, and we ran from the house. And I just remember thinking, it's really happening. Like that was like, this is really happening. I'm not dreaming. This is happening. And then I remember saying, good luck, and hearing other people say, good luck. Her neighbors had also run out of the house with their go bags, and like just, there were like 30 or 40 people that we could see on the street, kind of varying degrees of running to their cars. It was just, it was really crazy. You know, it's a moment like this where you realize how fortunate you are to have friends and have friends you can call, friends who will take you in immediately, friends who say, sure, bring your two dogs. So Raleigh, of course, lives here full time and has tons of friends. And she found a place that we could stay, which was amazing. But what was so satisfying is that we're just tons of offers of help from all over California, and even friends in Texas were calling and saying, come to us, you know, we're safe. We were the lucky ones. We are the lucky ones. We didn't lose anything in the fires. We lost a week and a half or so, and I mean, they're still going on. You might even hear sirens where we are, but we're back in our place, and our daughter's back in her place. We lost a week of our lives, and we're still glued to the fire app every day. Like, how much containment? I think we're at 31% today in the Palisades fire, which doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, that's a really big improvement. So, and I mentioned my friend in Malibu who I phoned. Unfortunately, her house is gone, just gone. I mean, she didn't even get to pack a go bag. We just like said, get in the car. And there was virtually no warning. So what does that have to do with business of design? Kimberly, what are you talking about here? Did you just want to tell us a story? Well, partly I wanted to give you a podcast this week, but and it's obvious why I wasn't able to get the podcast ready this week. I spent the last few days in Laguna Beach living in a friend's van because there are literally no hotel rooms between here and San Diego because of evacuations. But the experience has made me think about the importance of being able to pay attention to warning signs and know what they are. So with a natural disaster like a fire or an earthquake or a tornado, you're probably living somewhere where you're going to get an amber alert that at least gives you some information. It's letting you know that there's imminent danger, coming your way. But with your business, if there is approaching imminent danger, what are the warning signs? Are there warning signs? And the answer is there are warning signs, but boy, they are a lot more subtle than an amber alert. So I'm going to talk about those warning signs, but first, I'm going to let Cheryl jump in with some business of design announcements, and then I will come back, I promise, and talk about some of the things I pay close attention to so I can evade upcoming difficulties in my business. And I can't tell you how happy I am to be here this week. Let's hear from Cheryl.
Thanks, Kimberly. Well, to start, I just want to say that for all those listening in California, we are thinking of you. I know we have members and listeners in areas that may have been affected by the fire, so we just hope that your families are safe and that you are doing well. Later this week, Kimberly will be returning to Toronto and joining me at IDS Toronto. So January 24th at 11 a.m., join us for Run Your Business, hosted by Marla Baker as part of IDS Trade Day. We just posted all of the details, including a promo code that you can use for 20% off to our Instagram account. So please head there for complete details. And if you're not in the Toronto area and able to join us there, we would love to see you at Business of Design. As a member, join our retreat, be part of the community. We know that we can transform your business and your life this year. I'm so happy that it's, we've had a huge wave of members in the last few weeks. I know I said on an earlier announcement, 2025, it just seems the year 25 just seems so significant. And I think a lot of people are feeling that this is the year to really make strides. I know that we can make you profitable and you deserve that. So please join us. If you've been thinking about membership for a long time, reach out to me if you have questions. That's what I'm here for. I love connecting with longtime listeners, with members. I'm your main touch point. If you have any questions as you're going through the content, we really are here to support you and your business. And we would love to get to know you this year through Business of Design. So join us, reach out to us, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to the podcast. Just get involved, connect with your fellow designers, and be part of Business of Design. We'd love to have you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Cheryl. Of course, Cheryl is right as usual, and I would like to add my sincerest hopes to her announcements that you will make 2025 the year you really took your business to the next level, not by dabbling and listening to podcasts, truly, but by taking real, immediate action that will transform your business. It will move your own success needle so much closer to your dreams. Membership through Business of Design is still absolutely 100% the best value for improving your business in the world, period, full stop. We investigate all the competition that's out there nowadays, and trust me when I tell you it's derivative and it's weak in comparison to what we've built at Business of Design. So we want you here in membership, and it's all about to change this year, which is very exciting. I'm also here for one-on-one coaching, and I get a lot out of my one-on-one coaching partnerships. I can deep dive into your profit and loss statement. I can help you create a plan. I can act as a business partner if you're making decisions. I'd love to work with you. So happy to set that up. And if you're a planner like me, then I want you to mark some dates in your calendar. These are the only big dates Business of Design has this year, October 16th to 19th, because that's when we are hosting our new and explosively transformative Business of Design retreat. If you've ever been on a Business of Design retreat, you know it's invaluable to your business, and you are going to learn things immediately that you can input into your business, implement in your business, and make a huge impact, no question about it. But this year's retreat is going to be even more transformative because this year we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to deep dive into profit and loss statements. We're going to talk to you about future goals and help you reach them. And we're going to be inputting what we've learned from running BOD boss groups in 3 different countries. We're going to be applying that information to the retreat. So if you are looking for explosive growth, October 16th to 19th is critical for you to be part of this. And this year, this is very exciting, there'll be an opportunity for you to continue your learning and your camaraderie with the peers you meet at the retreat after the retreat is over. So we have really big, good stuff coming up for the retreat, and we'll be talking about all of it in the coming weeks. So basically, I'm asking you to do more than just listen to the podcast this year. I'm asking you to get to work and support the work we do at Business of Design. And in exchange, I guarantee I can change your business for the better. I can change your life. I can make you more money. I can give you more confidence, and I can help you get where you know you should be right now today. So thank you so much for considering that. Now, off the top of the show, I mentioned the importance of warning signs and how they can alert you to upcoming tragedy or difficulties in your business. And what are those warning signs? Is it a drop in income? It's a drop in profit, a drop in the number of clients. And the answer is, yeah, maybe it's all of those things, but that's all a bit vague, right? So I'm going to make it easier for you to interpret by telling you what I monitor specifically to ensure my business is healthy today and it's going to be healthy tomorrow. Really important. So here goes, top of my head, top 3 warning signs I look for. The first one might surprise you. The first one is a lack of consultations. That's your number 1 warning sign. If you are tracking how often your phone rings or how often you get an inquiry through your website of someone who wants to work with you, and those numbers decrease for any reason, that's an immediate, important, I think of that as my Amber Alert. Or if we're getting those inquiries, but for some reason we're not closing the sale, again, Amber Alert, because a lack of consultations is 100% guaranteed to translate into a lack of projects down the road. There's no way around it. So it's really important that we're always analyzing and keeping track of how many inquiries we get, how many of those inquiries turn into paid consultations, and then how many of those consultations are turning into paid projects. And if your percentages are super high like mine, like in the 90 percentile, you're doing great. But if you are only converting 1 out of every 3 calls or 1 out of every 2 calls, that's not good enough. Because if business is about to slow down, those numbers become insufficient to sustain you. They won't fill your client pipeline. So immediately what you can do is begin to keep a log of how many inquiries you get each month and the result of those inquiries. And then there are dozens of things you can do to move the needle toward more inquiries, closing more sales, raising your consultation rates so you're attracting your ideal client. Those are all things we teach at Business of Design. There are dozens of systems that go into making sure you're getting those consultations and closing those consultations and turning them into projects. So number 1 warning sign is a lack or limited consultations. Guaranteed you're going to be broke if that keeps up, right? Number 2, I would say is a change in project sizes and scale. So a decrease in the size of the projects. Something I noticed about a year and a half ago. I was going to the consultations. I was closing the same number of consultations. Everything is great. But when I would get to talking about the scale of the project and what they wanted to accomplish, the scope of work, suddenly the clients were saying things like, okay, we're going to do this in phases, or we're going to just start with this one part and see how it goes, which is very different than how things were in 2020, right? During COVID, when everybody was just like, I want to do everything today, all at once, this minute, hold back, no expense. At least that's how our experience was. And in fact, I just got off a Zoom call with my financial planner who said, like, my God, you have like slayed in the last 5 years. And I'm like, I really have, but it's partly because of the boost I got from COVID. There's no question. And when I started seeing clients say to me, okay, we're going to break this into 2 or 3 phases, aha, something's going on. I don't know what it is. Is it fear of economic insecurity? There's a lot of talk about recession, not recession. It's coming, it's here, it's not here. Who knows? It doesn't matter. It matters. What matters, I should say, is if your client thinks for any reason there's a reason to be concerned about finances, and that is contagious. Right? You know it's happening because you're at dinner parties and people are like, I don't know, should I increase my stock market vulnerability or should I pull back now? What's going to happen? And we're hearing a lot of those conversations. So the minute I go to a consultation and the clients are telling me, rather than doing the whole house top to bottom, which is our ideal situation, they're saying, okay, we're going to start with kitchen. I'm like, aha, something's coming. And what do I do then? I'm going to take the job that's just the kitchen. That's great. And I'm probably going to be able to convince them to do the rest of the house because they're going to be satisfied and they're going to see that we are our word and everything is going to go exactly as planned. But I'm also going to work on increasing the number of consultations I get because I know if I want to keep my income and profitability consistent, I might need to take on more projects this year than I did the year before if I want to keep those profitability consistent. So again, it's an early warning sign. What are the clients saying when I'm at the consultation? How has the size of the project changed or the scale of the project or what clients want to spend? That's another one. If the client says, you know, we want to do this amazing, extraordinary kitchen and we want to spend $100,000. I'm like, that's probably not going to be enough to do this huge kitchen the way that you want to do it. And it's interesting that the last 2 years, people were saying more like $200,000. So I'm noticing those differences when I'm at the consultation. So that's the second one, a change in the project size and scale as dictated to you by the client. And then, of course, the last one has to do with your P&L. I think of my P&L as my early warning sign. And the only way that early warning sign works is if I am consistently every single month looking at my P&L, not just looking at this year's P&L, but I like to do analysis against previous years. So I'll look at this year's P&L against the last 5 years. I'm looking for patterns. It's slow in July. Is that a problem? Or is it slow every July? If we're slow in July and I look back, I can see consistently it's a little quieter in July, year over year over year over year. That's normal. Most of my projects are in Canada. People are loving summertime and they're going to the cottage and they're doing all the fun things they want to do. So that's normal. But if I see that it's slow or income is low and profitability is low in October, that is a red flag amber alert. Something's going on because October, we are usually slammed trying to finish out projects for the end of year. So that P&L, if I'm using it on a regular basis, and I say once a month, but the fact of the matter is I'm in my P&L all the time. I can't help it. Once you get comfortable with it and you love it, it's not a hardship to jump in there and just check things out. I can compare the profitability of a project I'm working on right now with another project in the past that reminds me of this project. And I can see like, oh, my profitability on this one is down 4%. Wonder what's different. I go back into the old project. I'm like, oh, right. I was using that supplier, that manufacturer, and I had a deeper discount from that supplier. Good to know. I'm going to have to pay attention to that. So the third one is that my P&L, if I'm using it on a consistent, regular basis, and if I'm comparing it to previous months and previous years, can act as an early warning sign, alerting me to upcoming or immediate danger. So that's it. Lack of consultations or a change in the number of consultations, a change in what the clients are telling me about the project size and the scale and how much they want to spend. And then any changes that are a decrease in my profit and loss compared to previous months and previous years. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that this is my first official active business since the fire started, and it just feels so good to be back. I can't tell you. And I want you to know that you matter a lot to me, and you matter a lot to all of us at Business of Design. If you don't succeed, we don't succeed, and we're not in the business to fail. So let's make 2025 spectacular and get you to a level that maybe you never dreamed possible. I can take the big risks for you. I can dream for you. I can push you. I want more for you sometimes, I think, than you want for yourself. So let us help you with that, and stay safe, count your blessings, be grateful. And if you're thinking of coming to Los Angeles this year, we hope you will. We hope you'll come and support the businesses and the homes and the people who live here, because I got to tell you, it's an amazing place. And now that I've finished the podcast, I am off to Santa Monica Community College, where I'm going to be sorting and handing out goods to people who have really lost everything. And it was so hard to get a volunteer spot because there are so many people volunteering. It's just spectacular. And I bet you live somewhere like that too, where the people are just really good and wonderful. I hope so. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for letting me be part of your success.